What is up, boys? It is Yara Wins, and I'm back with another custom tactics and formation guide video. Now, it's been a while, and recently the meta has been the 5 at the back, so the 5-3-2, the 5-2-1-2, those kind of formations. Personally, I don't really enjoy playing against that or with that because it's very sort of negative and boring to play against. So I've been testing various systems, various formations out, and I've come across a very nice system. I've devised a system with the 4-3-3 fourth variation, so that's with the cam and 2 centre mids. And yeah, I'll show you and explain why this sort of tactics system is so effective and why it's so fun to play with as opposed to that 5 at the back systems. So getting straight into the custom tactics, we will start with the tactics themselves. So for the defensive style, I've gone with the pressure on heavy touch. Now again, if you've watched my previous previous videos, you will know that I've always said that this is a very effective, very overpowered defensive style, and I stick by that. And yes, it is quite risky because obviously you're going to leave spaces in behind. You're going to have to be more careful with your defending, but I think that for me personally, and I think for a lot of you guys, it's very frustrating to sort of sit back and wait to win the ball. It pays to be aggressive. You tend to get more chances, you have more control of the game, and if you are good with your defending, it is a very overpowered system. So with this whole style, and I'll explain how this all works, the actual style, as I say, you will want to have the pressure on heavy touch. Now for the width, I've gone pretty balanced here, slightly more than that, so 6 bars. Now as I say, with obviously the 4-3-3 formations, they have natural width to them, but because one of my CDMs or centre mids actually drops in between the defence or the centre backs to become like a third centre back really, you'll understand why I'm going slightly above balanced for the defensive width, because you don't want obviously them too narrow and not covering the wide areas, and vice versa. Now for depth, again, this is an individual choice depending on how comfortable you are in terms of how high or how deep you want your line. I think sticking with balanced is probably the best option here, because obviously with the pressure tactic, you're going to be going forward anyway. You're going to be pushing higher up the pitch naturally, so you don't necessarily need to have your line too high. And obviously depending on which centre backs you have, which defenders you have, if they are obviously very pacey, then you can get away with having a higher line. If not, then obviously better to stay a bit more deeper. And yeah, that is the defensive style. Now for the offensive style, if you watch my previous videos, as I say, I've always gone for the long ball tactic because I think generally it is the best, it is the most meta kind of style for attacking, because most goals will come from sort of through balls and players running in behind. So obviously having kind of 4 attackers in the system, obviously with the wingers, the striker, the cam, it works very well, especially the cam free roaming and putting those through balls into your striker or down the wings to your wingers. This tactic is very overpowered and meta. Now pretty much leave everything unbalanced. Corners and free kicks I'm not going to touch because that's an individual choice, how you play your through set pieces, sorry. And yeah, in terms of plays in the box and width, I think having it balanced sort of pays off in the system, and it's going to be more important with your instructions, which you'll see next, how it all works. So moving on to the actual instructions. So as you can see, I have Best and Robben as my wingers, Shevchenko as the striker, and Dybala as like a free roaming cam, and Toni Kroos is my playmaker, kind of central defensive midfielder but playmaker as well, whereas Lucas Leiva, and this is a very nice card, very cheap, very overpowered actually, I would recommend it, and he might actually get upgraded to 90 as well, but for him I have him dropping in between the defenders, so he becomes like a third centre back, and it's a very effective kind of trick, I guess you could say. But in terms of the attacking instructions, so for your central striker, stay central, get in behind, stay forward, and actually conservative interceptions. For both your wingers, stay forward, cut inside, get in behind, get into the box, conservative interceptions. And the same for your cam, stay forward, get into the box, free roam, conservative interceptions. Now the reason that I have that interception setting on is because with the pressure tactic you're going to burn a lot more stamina, and generally your attackers are not going to be doing a lot of that defensive work. With the pressure itself, you're going to win interceptions anyway without having to be aggressive, so it just pays to save the stamina for them and let the rest of your team obviously do that defensive work and then be more dangerous for longer in the attack. Now for my first CM/CDM, stay back, stay on edge of the box, normal interceptions, cover center, and as I mentioned, the actual CDM, drop between defenders, stay on edge of the box, cover center. And really the only two other instructions you need to worry about is obviously the fullbacks. It's for the fullbacks, and yeah, stay back while attacking. That's all you really need to change, and yeah, that is pretty much it. So guys, let's move on to the actual clips, the gameplay, and I'll show and explain how effective and fun this system really is. So guys, as we move into the clips, I'll just start by saying this is all Division 1 gameplay, and yeah, I played the few games that I started off with. I kept falling behind, so I had to sort of work my way back into the games, and it sort of woke me up, I guess, in terms of conceding first, because I was more aggressive and I feel I was more clinical with my chances, and you'll see the sort of comeback trail here. So in terms of the defense to attack transition, as you can see, sort of all the attacking players are free roaming. This was actually a late comeback in the first game, and you can see the effectiveness of basically the wide players moving the defensive players basically on the opposing side out of position, getting that space down the wing, and obviously being able to have a one-on-one chance. And obviously with the end product of your wing players, you can cause some big damage and obviously have players in the box to cross to. Now in this particular instance, you can see the pressure tactic and basically win the ball back with your attacking players, just overwhelming your opponent defense really. Quick passing, a lot of attacking options in terms of the positioning. You have obviously the wide players to pass to, you can go through the middle, you've got the striker, you've got the cam, and you've got that support from the two central midfielders. And the good thing with these guys is they can drop back when needed, but when you attack they also sort of slightly push up and they give you basically outlets to which to pass to and also to create chances. Like you can see, Cruz and Leva are all involved there. Some great sort of quick passing and another clinical finish. So that's one thing that I've noticed, and it kind of works similar to a 5 at the back, because when you're defending with the drop between defenders CDM, you kind of have an extra centre back, but when you're attacking it's just more, I guess, positive and generally more attacking than having 5 at the back. Now again, I fell behind in this game, had to go more aggressive, and you can see the effectiveness again with the free roaming cam in Dybala. He actually went wide, he drifted wide, he got the space, and obviously got that finish. Now again, you can see on the defensive side you have basically 5 defenders, but then I quickly counter-attack, quick passing, get that through ball to the main striker. I don't finish on that occasion, which is a great save, but again the aggressiveness, win the ball back straight away, get the second bite at the cherry, and in that instance I do finish it. And this is basically the beginning of a great comeback. Once again on the defensive side, I've got good cover. I've got obviously the extra centre back in Lucas Leiva, who's sort of slightly ahead of them, but you can see him moving forward. He's running forward in the middle right there, and yeah, in this particular chance it's a great finish once again from Shevchenko. And yeah, it's a very, very fun and interesting basically system and style. And yeah, especially this drop between defenders instruction I think is very overpowered. As you can see, once again I've got this additional sort of, it almost looks like a 5 at the back right now, and I'm moving with the attack, quick passing, using that width, using the central striker to sort of lay it off. as a distraction as well, and then the Cam Dybala behind him, who's kind of like a second striker, gets in behind there, and obviously a great finish. So yeah guys, that is the highlights of this particular system. As I say, it's very fun, very effective. At the time of this recording, I'm 4-0 with it in Foot Champs. It's going very well, and yeah, highly recommended. And I think it's a lot more fun and more original than sort of the boring 5 at the back meta, and I think this actually is a better meta. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed this video, this system, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you very soon guys for the next video. Peace.